welcome to the show, everybody. This is Joker Joker. I am Mux Blank. I am just getting over being sick, so my voice is a little cracky tonight. Sorry about that. But we've got a really exciting show in store for you tonight. We have a live interview tonight with Georgia Fine Arts Academy. They're going to be here talking about an event that they got coming up. Joy Ovington from the Georgia Fine Arts Academy is going to be here. And a special guest to be named. We also have a reoccurring show, Industrial Strength. Number 11 is happening today. Going to be featuring Ochre Ant on his performance. With a really cool special interview with Ochre Ant. So stay tuned for that. We definitely want to thank our sponsors. Athfest Educates. Athfest is coming up soon. We've got some big announcements that we're going to be putting out soon about that. We're doing something special for Athfest this year. Also, in fact, the T-shirt I'm wearing, Fog Machine, a big sponsor of the show. Thank you so much. I just happen to be wearing the shirt today. That's awesome. All right. And then let's see. And then I've got a bunch of announcements for some stuff that's coming up next week and all that. And we got a bunch of videos, of course. So what you saw in the beginning there was Bloor, and that was called Viewer Discretion is Not Advised. And they are out of the New York area. Actually, they were kind of referred to us because the band Theophobia, they're friends, and so we featured something recently from Theophobia, and so it was really cool that drew in some people. So we got new people sending stuff in, some really cool stuff. We were talking about this video right before we came in. The weirder the better, the cool, experimental, abstract video. We love that stuff. We play music videos, we play short films, we'll play trailers, any of that kind of stuff. If you guys want to submit that stuff to us, we'll get it on JOKERJOKErtv.
Let your freak flag fly.
Yeah, send it in to tvjokerjoker@gmail.com. So, all right, let's see. Also, we wanted to mention that that song, Viewer Discretion is Not Advised, is from the album of the same name, put out by Systems Neutralizer. Neutralizers.com. So find their record there or on the Bloor Bandcamp.
Bloor.
Awesome.
I like the way that sounds.
Yeah, I did too.
Bloor.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure how to pronounce it at first, but they gave me a good explanation how to, like Bloor as in floor, but it's with a B. So
nice, tight.
I don't know. We should look up the word and see what that means. I don't know. Bloor. Might just be something that they just have used as their performance name. I don't know. It's really interesting how people come up with that stuff. All right, let's see what we got coming up next. All right, local guys, Bleach Garden. It's been a minute since they've been on the show, right? That was last year or something.
More than a year, probably.
Yeah, maybe. Born to Empty is their brand new video.
Born to Be Empty.
Oh shit. Born to Be Empty. All right. All right. Let's watch it.
Classic.
We'll be back in just a little bit.
And though I've learned along the way, it's better to burn in the face.
I find this intriguing. I don't believe it. Intriguing. I don't believe it necessarily.
Change the frequency, so you and I will always be together on another realm. You are an angel. You are an angel. An angel. It's hard to understand. We travel through different lands, even though we are apart, still as one at a heart. Got your hand on my shoulder. Wherever I go, guiding me. Supporting me, loving me, protecting me.
A month from now until March.
Until people have been asking me to do a couple things. Oh, we're back. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Let's see. Let me go over what we just watched. Of course, we started with Bleach Garden. I mentioned that. What was the name of that piece again? Born to be Empty. Born to be Empty. So that was a single that they just put out. But the album release will be... Oh, no, I guess it did happen. Oh, no, it will be June 6th.
New album
coming out. So that song will be on the new album. I don't have the name of the album. I don't know if I just didn't record it or they didn't might not have sent me that yet. But yeah, so June 6th. Like keep track of their Bandcamp. It's Bleach Garden 94 on Bandcamp. So then after that, we saw two pieces. They kind of blended together, but they were two short pieces from Vague Visions, which is they're out of Zurich, Switzerland. Let's see. Also, double single is released on all platforms. I guess that's already released. So those two songs were clips of two songs that are out now. So if you want to hear the whole song, you can go to their YouTube at Vague Visions. So and see the full videos and full songs there. And then that last one was A.I.N, which stands for Aliens in Nature, out of Austria. And they just recently sent me a note that they signed up with a record label called Eisenberg, which I've been studying some. We were talking about this right before we came back. Some jewelry, and that's a jewelry brand name that's, I think, pretty valuable. So
Heisenberg,
no, Eisenberg, Eisenberg.
I see.
So like they anyway, same name as the jewelry brand. I guess. I doubt it's connected in any way, but that was just a weird little thing, so. All right, so we have some guests in the studio. Let's bring them in. All right, welcome to the show, everybody.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. So it's been, I guess, a year since we've had you on the show. And last time, we just like this time, we were talking about Cafe Apollinaire.
Yes.
So you're with the Georgia Fine Arts Academy, and the Georgia Fine Arts Academy is the ones that organize and put together this special once-a-year event called Cafe Apollinaire.
Right.
Right. All right. So I summarized it good. All right.
Yes, you did. It's one of the things that we do as an arts education nonprofit.
Yeah.
I'm Joy Ovington, creative director, and last year you heard from my partner Bo and Craig,
Bo
president of the board, who inherited the nonprofit from Bill Bray. We're in our 45th year.
Yeah.
Bo is off doing something with Dodd Farrell and David Sutherland, a creative cluster thing, and he really wishes that he could be here. But I'm glad he's not, because I have an escort, the inimitable Christopher Pendry.
Who you got with you here?
Yes, I'm Christopher Pendry, performing in Cafe Apollinaire.
Nice.
By day, I'm a master's student in film at UGA, but I'm doing some theater with the cafe, which I'm so excited for that opportunity to do. Some weird theater, of course.
Yeah. So it's going to be an art explosion. One of the things that Bill created this academy for is being able to give people unique opportunities that they might not have had otherwise. And you can interpret that any way you want to. So we're kind of the white hats. Even you said at one point, we did an event this year, and you said, Joy, I didn't know you do that kind of thing. I said, well, our ears to the ground, and we want to do what our artists need us to try to pull off and bring them into.
Like artist mentors, basically. Like that organization as a whole is that. To be.
So
that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we connect. Is because Joker is similar in that way too.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were talking before the show about how much opportunity there is here. And we need these types of organizations in town too, especially in this town because it's a college town, and there's tons of students who need mentorship in that way.
And then they graduate, or they're in the last stages of everything, and then what happens? Well,
then they go on to be success stories.
One guy was headed for Cracker Barrel, going back home, and the late Bill Bray, our founder, said, no, come on, let's get that application going for graduate school. And now he's filling in for Jean Valjean on the national tour of Les Mis. So we love Chris Sapp and others who have definitely launched themselves in small part through us. So throughout the year, we look around, Bo and I, who has the burn, who has the talent, and maybe just needs a little, hey, you want to try something new at this event? So no matter what we're doing, we had like 4 or 5 things, events we did, classes we produced. We did a sustainability impact cohort for our nonprofit through the Georgia Nonprofit Association and the Council for the Arts. So anyway, it's been a busy year, but we will always keep Cafe Apollinaire free, and we want you to come on Saturday, April 26th at 7 p.m. Come a little early.
At Attica.
Yes,
At Attica,
Yeah,
yeah.
the venue is Attica.
Yep.
But we're going to have a little join us. Leave your cheapest, what are the words?
Join us.
Leave
Your
your
feast of
of
flower. Join us.
Come and waste an hour
Or
or
two.
two. So we have this
Like,
secret.
wait a minute. Why haven't we like made this as a little commercial that we can show
I
on,
know.
Literally,
on the
literally.
show?
Well,
you
there
know?
it was. So Leslie Whitehead O'Neill is going to
Yeah, a
kick it
little theme
off.
song and everything.
She's not in the lineup, so she's the big secret. So that's why you have
nice.
to come. If
Who,
you're
say her
coming-
name again.
Leslie Whitehead O'Neill. She's
okay.
a triple threat. And
Nice.
she will blow our minds. So she's just going to, get us all juiced up. We will have juice. We will have our sponsors, Authentic Brewing,
Yeah.
providing beer for donations, please. Much appreciated. And then also Krista at the Lark Wine Space.
Oh, yeah.
Again, both of those, including the Waterman.
And then the Waterman. Yeah.
Yep,
yeah.
definitely.
Everybody
Absolutely.
loves the Waterman.
And Greg Clark at the bar. And so please come and watch
So-
these wonderful artists try new things
Yeah.
in front of a supportive audience.
So let me ask about that. Christopher, right? Was it Chris or Christopher?
Either works.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Christopher. So she mentioned, okay, like that how they go out into the community and they find people with that burn. Obviously, okay, you're somebody that they found that they've invited to be on the show. Tell us about how you met them and how this all came about. How did you become part of this show?
Yeah, well, board member John Patrick Bray,
yeah.
who is related to Bill Bray or is not related to Bill Bray.
No, I
not
think if we
related.
go back far enough, they may be, but they,
Yeah.
they never claimed it.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
they
They
share
were
a last
very
name though.
tight.
Yeah.
But John Patrick Bray, he's doing a play at the same time, and I think it opens the night before, called Tracks, which is at
Okay.
Marigold Auditorium.
Oh, he's doing Tracks,
Go see
okay.
Tracks. And he sort of reached out to us, his students. We're taking feature writing with him. We're all writing feature screenplays, and he reached out and said, the cafe is looking for some performers, and I'm getting my master's in film. But I started as like a theater kid, and especially into like weird theater and like more like performance art and stuff like that. So I was like, this is my chance to do some weird theater.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Joy and two other students from that class, Delaire Gackle and Colin Bischoff. And Colin does prose and Delaire's showing a film. They also reached out. So you got like a few people from that group, and
Yeah.
Nice.
John Patrick Bray is such a good connection,
Oh,
and
he's
he's
great.
showing a film as well.
Right,
Which is cool.
right. At the very
He's
end,
great.
stay later for an 18-minute film by him called Barflies. So,
So,
we're
I
really
mean-
excited. We have a wide variety
Yeah.
of folks. It's
And-
not just theater. And
Yeah, let's go over who all we're
Okay.
going to have. Let's
So
bring
I
that flyer up too, so that everybody kind of see. Because you've got all different kinds of
I'll
stuff.
whip
You've
through
got
the
know-
the order of things, and then we can break it down.
Okay.
So, drum roll, please.
all right.
Somebody who is an improv artist that everybody in town knows is actually going to be trying even newer things that she has never tried before, I believe. Libba Loops.
Oh, really?
Yes, big fan of your show,
Libba.
right?
Yeah.
You're a fan of hers. We love Libba.
We've worked with Libba quite a bit. She's amazing.
Yes.
She's
So,
going to be doing something different for this.
Yep. If you have never experienced Libba Loops, she is an incredible improvisational looping artist.
Yeah.
And how I met her was through Athens, Aaron Strand's new film called Withdrawal that's opening
Oh,
at the
yeah.
30th at the Atlanta Film Fest. So you and I were extras in that movie.
Yep.
So yes, I forgot about
I
that.
was
We
an
got-
extra as TV head guy.
Yeah,
in
TV
that.
head guy.
Perfect.
Right. So we were extras at a supposed open mic.
Yeah.
And Aaron, I forgot Aaron's film. We should definitely see Withdrawal.
Yeah.
So she was up there looping and asking us to throw out some ideas,
Yeah.
a la Second City Improv. It was great. I
Oh,
fell
yeah.
in love. I was like, my God, she's got a gift. So it was right then I said, you want to like practice something new in front of a, she's like, heck yeah. So we're excited. She's going to be starting us. And then Christopher Pendry comes up the aisle and scares us with a little German Hamlet. What is it?
Yeah, it's called the Hamlet Machine, and it's
Okay.
like
Postmodern.
it's like a German expressionist theater piece. It's by Heiner Muller, who's he makes like really fragmentary sort of political theater.
Yeah.
But this one,
Perfect.
he called it the shrunken head of Hamlet, because he took Hamlet and made it an 8-page play.
Oh,
And so
really?
it's 8 pages of just like pure chaos. And
Nice.
I will be doing an excerpt from it, which I'm so excited about.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a good. This is a good time to mention that we were PG-13 on Cafe
Oh,
Night.
yeah.
Leave the kiddies at home. Sadie Hammond, she does teach at an elementary school. She's an exceptional music instructor, and she's also a soloist with the Athens Choral Society, and she plays a mean ukulele. So she is going to perform some crazy stuff. And last year we had Athens Poet Laureate Jeff Fallis read some new stuff, and we got really lucky this year. This woman, Michaela Robinson Smith, has such a busy schedule, but we got her last year. As soon as she was named, we said, please come, because we know you'll have some juicy stuff to share. And she will be reading.
You
and
have
sharing
been
things
busy
with
this
us.
year.
Yeah, she's actually going to be, I believe, in the Leathers building the night before at a gallery doing another reading.
Dang.
Wow.
And I was like,
Back
wait,
to
is that our
back.
night? You can't double bug, you know. I mean, mistakes like that happen around here because the best artists are busy
There's
creating
always
new,
so much going on too.
creating
so.
new art. Bowen Craig is another very busy artist. He owns Bilbo Books Publishing.
Yeah.
This is his baby, this nonprofit, Georgia Fine Arts.
Yeah.
And he's a playwright and a darned good comedic dialogue master. So Kat Marie Mitchell, sorry Kat, she is our dear friend and a hell of a director and comic actress. So the two of them have come up with a 10-minute play called Ernest Cohen's Christmas Dilemma.
Nice.
It will be hilarious. And then we have this one guy I want to talk about who is exceptional. And then we have Colin and
Delaire.
and she's doing Snowfall. But let me go back. Zach Jarrett. So I do some substitute teaching.
Yeah, I was going to ask because you had this listed under visual art. So,
Yes.
what's this?
Zach Jarrett. He is a sweetie. And he's a freaking genius artistically. He doesn't even know it. That's where when my radar goes off, I'm like, yeah, come with us. So I was substitute teaching, and I was looking at the Cedar Shoals student put together magazine.
Yeah.
And it was from like a year, 2-3 years ago, I don't know, but it was in some teacher's desk, and I pulled it out, and there was an interview done with this guy, and in the corner of it is just a little picture of some of his animation.
Yeah.
So I was like, ding ding ding, if he's still around, which is probably not likely, he's probably graduated and is far away, then maybe we can help him. We can. And Bo's brother is an executive editor at SCAD and a
Yeah.
filmmaker. He ran Standoff Studios in Athens several years ago. I'm like, being resourceful is that's one of our superpowers.
Yeah,
if we
yeah.
can't help you, we'll find somebody who will.
Yeah.
So found him through his Instagram. He responded. Come to find out, he is at Kennesaw State. He is majoring in digital animation, hoping to
Nice.
minor in illustration.
Nice.
And for the cafe, he's creating and designing his own comic series called Project Solace.
Oh, wow.
So we always ask folks, what is the best thing you can imagine getting out of your experience
Yeah.
of having the opportunity to stand up here in front of a very supportive audience and get feedback right after or at the break or later, making connections, finding new mentors that are
Yeah.
specific to your art. And he said, well, it would be great if I could write a comic book or something. And I said, okay.
That's
and
cool.
then I employed exactly what you and I learned at I-Core,
Yeah.
which is how to pitch,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And so I talked to him, do you know what this is? Have any of your arts and teachers told you that at some point you're going to have to pitch? A lot of kids go out, people who are like you get your MFA. I got my MFA and I didn't know how to sell myself. You know, they don't have
Yep.
classes in that. So I said, all right, we're going to teach you everything we know about how to pitch. So that's what we're doing. And so I'm going to announce
Sick.
that, guess what, audience? You're in it too. You get to pretend like you're funders looking
Nice.
for, and so here he is. And then he's going to act like he's pitching for money
Oh,
for
that's
people
cool.
to, And
Cool.
he's really smart. And when you see his art, it's amazing. I told him to do his little pitch and then change gears.
What's
And
the comic book called again?
Project Solace.
Project
It's like
Soulless.
I don't know if it's
Man, I wish we-
apocalyptic, but it's like the end of the world, and
Yeah.
and everything is just screwed up and falling
Cool.
apart. And then there's Eden, so it's classic. It's wonderful. I had to read it twice to, just the encapsulation of it to understand. Wow, this is so way over my head. And then Bo read it, and his brother read it, and they're like, "You don't understand anything. It's cool, Joy." I said, well, that's probably right. But hey, I know a good artist when I see it.
Yeah.
So, and he's great. He's the kind of person that will pick up the phone and call you. So we've had phone conversations, which is great. He is different than just your average college student. And that's why we dig him, and we are really excited about mentoring him and anyone else who needs a little help.
You also had Craig Gum listed there.
We did.
I know him.
He just canceled.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have brought it up.
Freaking Easter season. Because he has a brand new studio across the hall from Bilbo Books Publishing. So go and have him take your pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So again, let me talk about the biggest sponsor we have.
Okay.
And this is
Who is
this
it?
has been pretty much fiscally for us. Once we were the artist in residence at Athens Institute for Contemporary Art, which is at 675 Pulaski Street in the Leathers building.
And that's where this is all happening.
Run by Lauren Fancher. A trust was built.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And audiences associate us with their greatness, really.
Yeah.
And
I
they
mean,
are
you started
100%
as, like-
volunteer, all volunteer, artist-run nonprofit.
Yeah.
And we had lots of events. We'd had them at Cine, we'd had them at Flickr, we had taught in different places.
Yeah.
But it was Lauren Fancher that said, let's see if we can teach you some. She did for us what we are trying to do for other artists.
Nice. Yeah.
And she'll be retiring this year, and we're going to miss her terribly.
Oh, really?
So
I
we
didn't
had
know
just
about
come
that.
out of the I-Corps program,
Yeah.
and Lauren said, I think you can handle being artist in residence. And we did it the month after you personally did it,
Yeah.
right? So then after that, she said, I think after 25 programs that you did in that month, you know how we run things here.
Yeah.
So will you be a programming partner?
Yeah.
So we are not officially affiliated with Athica. We will just be eternally grateful to them, and we really hope it continues because it's a wonderful blessing that we pass on just to be able to use that space. So thank you, Athica. Thank you,
Yes,
Board
thank
of
you,
Athica. Please let us continue doing this because
you
it
do-
would all screech to a halt if it weren't for Athica,
Yeah,
for
exactly.
the Georgia Fine Arts Academy.
Yeah. And I mean that's how they're supporting other local nonprofits as well, and that's really great that they do that. Because not everybody does. So that's really great. And you do multiple events. They're not just the Cafe Apollinaire. What are some of the other events that you do?
Well, the one that you were like, well, I didn't know you did that.
Yeah.
Basically, I just kept hearing during the cold, dark winter months that people were stuck in their art. Politics was all over the place, and people were kind of frozen in all kinds of places that weren't very creative. So I happen to know an exceptional yoga instructor named Candy Duke, and if we're going to have a professional come and teach something that artists have ostensibly asked for, we're going to pay them the going rate.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we're not a community organization that's philanthropic. No, we get the best there is. And so she taught a energy medicine for the creative soul was the
nice.
class.
Yeah.
Sick.
And we planned maybe 15 people, and 25 people walked in the door.
Wow.
And they floated out of the door.
Yeah.
And if you go to our social media, you can see that she just had a sound healing class at her studio and donated all the proceeds from the students to our nonprofit. So the love keeps circling around.
Yeah.
So, and we do other things, acting for the camera. Bo and his co-teacher, Tracy Coley, who's also on our board, and she's an MFA teacher in writing at UGA. She is amazing, and they teach memoir classes of various sorts.
Oh, wow.
And
so like workshops, classes, different kinds
that's
of...
what we do.
Okay.
Like imagine, if you will, a professional actor needs to take class, right, every week. But like someone like me, I have to drive to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I don't have the
Yeah,
gas
especially
to
around
do
here.
that right now.
There's a lot more going on in Atlanta, and so everything
Right.
tends to be
Or
out
if you're
there.
a potter and
Yeah.
you want to learn a specific glaze,
Yeah.
well, if you have a little critical mass, about 5-10 people, then I will go find the best teacher you want and pay them. And then we pay them whether anybody shows up or not. And that person comes down. We have had some hoteliers in town sponsor
Wow, that's
and put
cool.
people up. We've
That's
had
great.
people come in from out of town. So I'm rambling. But the thing is that we just do what we can, and that's all anyone
Yeah,
can ask,
yeah.
right? We're not grant funded. We ask for your donations. So come, we pass the beret at Cafe Apollinaire.
Yeah.
We do not pass the hat. And we are doing one other thing because, again, it was an opportunity to just kind of do what we can. And that is work with others in the area to create opportunities. So what do visual artists want of any age at any point in their career is exposure, the chance to get up and say, look, I made this. Do you like it? I'll sell it to you. You know, or, you know, I can do this and this. Can you think of something else that I could create for you? Because visual artists, they want to get paid for their stuff.
Yes.
And they often don't know how to market themselves, or they just don't have the, you know, the ego. You got to get out there and brag about yourself. Most artists, honestly, most artists that I am close to do not have that in them. You know, they need a big mouth like me to say, hey, look, this person is amazing, and, you know, make your dog sit still for 2 seconds and they will create this amazing thing that will last forever. Blah, blah. So I'm sitting having a vodka with Rob and his wife Air, who own Oak House Distillery on Macon Highway. And there's not a whole lot of art up. And I said, you know, this would be great if we could put some local art up, you know. And he said, yeah, you know anybody? I said, yeah, we can find some folks. We know some folks, you know. And so he said, yeah, let's just have another drink and keep talking about it. So that is how Cocktails and Canvas came about. Now, because we're like in the throes of planning an after school program with the school district, we have to watch our P's and Q's and want to. We want to serve everybody, so we're never going to be officially aligned with an alcohol producer. But we will do everything we can to work hand in hand, you know, like Authentic and, you know, Oak House. So Oak House is an historic home.
Really?
And it's turned into an event space. It, has the tasting room. But there are other places where once a month, the first Saturday of every month, from 2 until 6, you can come and see artists who are really fine, have their works displayed. You can purchase them. You can commission new works from them. You can just have a drink with them. But we've done it 7 times now. And, you know, you can never tell if it's going to be crowded or not. So please crowd.
You should get some different mixologists to do some
different mixologists, some different
special
artists.
cocktails.
Like you, Mux.
Oh, yeah? What do you mean? Like
we
me?
want to invite you because
yeah?
people really are actually, now that they know what it is, they're contacting us. We have some slots later in the year around the fall, and your art is amazing.
Oh, I appreciate that.
And we would love for you to come and be one of our artists at the Cocktails and Canvas at the Oak House.
So cool.
Sounds good.
Yay!
Thank
you.
I will have to talk about this more, but I might even have an idea for the cocktail side of it as well.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
We are not involved in that.
Well, no, I mean, like, anyways, we'll talk about it. Like, we could do some kind of like special mix thing that the cocktails are all based on, or something.
Oh, that would be really cool. Create some art. Well, I can tell you, the small stuff sells. After a couple.
I mean, food is art too.
Oh my gosh. I can't stand it. I love you. I love you so much, and we are so happy to be here. So let's real quick.
Let's summarize.
How long is the? Tell me about Snowfall.
Yeah, Dallaire Gackel's film Snowfall is, I think, 8 minutes or maybe 6. But it's pretty short. Yeah, but it's sort of about a guy who's dealing with grief, and he's sort of transported to like a sort of German expressionistic landscape where he is sort of like forced to confront his grief. It's a super cool, and like Dallaire's like one of the best editors I know, so she has tons of like kind of like this like crazy
Oh,
crazy
respect.
layers and crossover.
I love that. And before that, Colin is going to read
Yes.
from his work called Peach State.
Okay.
So he's a hell of a writer.
Mm-hmm.
And people say, who is Apollinaire? Well, Guillaume Apollinaire lived post-World War I. He was really getting all the artists inspired and all the juices flowing up on Montmartre in Paris, like with Gertrude Stein and Max Ernst and Salvador Dali and all these. They would just stand up in the cafes and do. And so come and we'll have the cafe tables out and the little flickering lights. And
Yeah, you set it up like when you set it up at Cine last time. You set it. We did like a little live broadcast and everything, and I liked how you set it up like that. I can imagine it being in Attica.
Yeah, we did it last year at
yeah.
Attica too, and it was so much fun.
That's
so
cool.
please come.
Yeah, so
the
what day is that?
Saturday the
26th.
26th. Park by the
7
train tracks
p.m.
because we have to lock the front door. Because
yeah,
the
yeah.
stage is near there.
Yeah.
PG-13. We start at 7.
And it's a free event.
Free event, and
So-
we have beer and wine available for donation.
All right. Well, thank you
again.
for coming on the show and talking about all that. Like, I know some of these artists, and so I know it's going to be a really good show. But like the other stuff that you've been describing, I'm really interested in. So, and well, let's talk about that canvas and cocktail things. Did I say that right?
Cocktails and canvas.
Sorry, I said it backwards.
Every first Saturday of every month from 2 until 6 at
I'll be
Oak
there
House.
too.
So where do
Sounds
and
great.
where do people go to like find out about all this? Can they go to your website?
Yeah, GeorgiaFineArts.org.
GeorgiaFineArts.org. Okay. All right. Well, we've got. I picked a specific video out to play after we're done with this interview. This is a guy named Scott Gibson out of Australia, and he's playing classical piano. And this is one of his songs that he did solo style. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's really amazing. So we're going to watch that next. And then right after that is Industrial Strength with Steve Houston. And then we'll be back a little bit after that. So we'll see you in a bit.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Like a lover deceased in slumber, to morning I come, ill prepared for all that I've begun. The sum of hate, the son of rage, alone someone. The wave of a life, oh come undone. Oh no, oh no. Lovers of life, oh they delight in sparkles and lights, living out days of compromise. They get so surprised, oh when their demise, oh wonders laughing at all the days have been. Oh no, oh, walk from the light, ignite, oh you've begun. the sun of rain. I'm a dad and won't you take a seat and wait for melodies I know to end the mass in gratitude and sunrise when a skies walk from the light, ignite, always begun. Walk from the light, ignite, always begun. I'm the sun, I'll know the sun of rain.
Hi again, this is Steve Houston. How you doing? Steve Houston for JOKERJOKER Stay tuned. We got more content for you. Content.
Hello, this is Industrial Strength, JOKER TV's showcase for industrial music and other related genres. I'm your host, Steve Houston. And on today's episode, we have Ochre Ant. In the words of the band's representative, U-Neo8, quote, Ochre Ant is a shadowy trio of sonic warriors, espionage agents, and quantum smoothing specialists, who currently reside in the Boston, New York, Baltimore, Atlanta, New Orleans, Dallas, Omniopolis of the United States. Little is known about the three members of Ochre Ant, D69, K88, and W23, other than they are from elsewhere, elsewhen, or even nowhere. Records of their activity stretches back to at least the late 1880s, somewhere near a gravitational anomaly in Dunwich, Massachusetts. These records consist of garbled coded messages on graphite that have yet to be deciphered. Those tablets are now lost. In fact, the dead telephone signal was, unquote, and at that point the message cut off. I don't know what's going on here, folks, but anyway, maybe we can get to the bottom of this because a member of Ochre Ant is supposed to be in the studio right now and not even by helicopter, Eileen. Whoa, okay. There he is, or there it is. Sorry, I don't know how to address this. But welcome to Industrial Strength. Which one are you?
I am D69, the current voice for Ochre Ant. It is appropriate that you formulate this thing called entertainment out of industry. Maybe you should formulate out of this river.
Sure. Thanks for the unsolicited advice. Getting right back to the interview, do any other members of Ochre Ant speak?
K88 transmits on Rigelian hyperbrain frequencies. W23 transmits using the cosmic microwave background. E69 speaks with the voice of primates.
Okay, so, how did your group form?
What is this group that you speak of? What is this form? All was formless chaos in the beginning. Primordial 3.5 billion years ago was the first prebiotic biological entities.
Okay, how about this? When are you going to release your next album?
Mark Garson was the latest. and helped us speak to plant matter. Your Beatles of Liverpool were also in contact. I've been saying pop culture. Prior to them, it was Charlie Patton of Mississippi. There were others further back that we communicated with, including Hildegard. The rest is lost in thought, in time, not space. It will be out in a few months. Support us on Bandcamp and give us the credits that you call money.
Thanks for being real. But wasn't she born back in the... forget about it. Have you ever played live shows? Do you plan on playing any others?
I recently appeared in cytoplasm form on your Africa when it was on the Tracy Street, Athens, Georgia, in the year 2010, or maybe it was 2002 or 09. There were other manifestations. As for this plan, it had already been in motion. Despite the chaos of the 3K signal, it has been in motion forever. After all, what do you want from me?
Sure. Do you plan on ever going on tour despite all of you being far apart?
What is tour? We are not apart. We are everywhere. The 3000K antimatter anomaly binds us all. Entropic reality is now. 100 terachronologies are here and far away. The unraveling. Tartarus. Hecate.
What the... jeez. What was his deal? Anyway, for this for this episode, we'll watch 3 Ochre videos. How's that, kids? What we are offered: Android Package Mix, Klugman Moonhenge, Jack Klugman, you gotta love him, and an Ochre sighting from 2020 with whoever or whatever we just talked to. D69, right? That's who it was. I'm confused. Anyway, enjoy. Thank you for tuning in to Industrial Strength. I'm Steve Houston. Remember, we not only feature industrial and experimental music from Athens, Georgia, but from all corners of the world, from the present to the distant past. So, if you create or used to create any of this sort of music, in any capacity, please reach out to us. We'd love to showcase your videos. Whether you grind on the wheel or have stepped off of it, take care of yourself and take care of each other. We'll see you again in a month or so on Joker Joker TV for another episode of Industrial Strength.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Hold on, we got something going on here. Okay, so what you saw there right before we come back was the drone messiah himself, Sean Derrick Cooper Marquardt, out of Berlin. This is, I believe that was like a house show performance or something like that, and a good example of what he calls his accidental guitar method is the kind of the term he gives to how he creates that music, which, as you can see, using the guitar in different ways than just as normal guitar, using with feedback, with I couldn't really see what kind of pedals he was using there, but I assume maybe some delay and loop stations and stuff like that. Anyway, really cool stuff. He's a couple different projects. Sean Derrick Cooper Marquardt, of course. The S&M Accidental Orchestra. And then also one of my favorites, the Afghanistan Mon Amour, as one of his side projects. Anyways, thank you for sending that in, Sean. It was really cool stuff. Right before that, you saw a couple pieces during the Industrial Strength segment from the band, what was it? Ochre Ant is the name of the band. Really cool little surprise interview there with one of the members from Ochre Ant. A band that's been around in Athens for a long time, hasn't really been performing or doing anything more recently. Some of those members are in other projects now, but really cool stuff there. Thanks so much, Steve, for putting that together for us. All right, I had a couple little announcements talking about Steve. His band, Undus Mundus, will be live in the studio next week. We're also going to have Bryant Perez back in the house. So he's got a big show that he's got coming up with Libaloops, who we were talking a little bit about earlier. They've got a big show coming up that they're going to be talking about. Let's see. We've got Studio Fests. Athica has put together an event called Studio Fest that is featuring open houses all across town of different studios. You can visit different types of artist studios. So JOKERJOKER TV is opening our studio for an open house. Come and visit and see where the magic is created. We're also going to have a couple little surprises happening that day, so come on out. Let's see. I guess that was all the announcements I had. And we've got the Athens agenda coming up next. All the shows happening here in town, in Athens, Georgia. We've got a lot of different flyers that we're going to flash up on the screen there. So we'll see you at some of the shows. And just one last thing. Again, we wanted to mention, if you're an artist that would like to get your stuff featured on JOKERJOKER TV, just get a hold of us at tvjokerjoker@gmail.com. And we would love to feature your stuff. So let us see it and send it in. Let's see. I guess that's it. So, all right. Well, we'll see you next week. Enjoy the Athens agenda, and we'll see you at the show. Goodbye.